Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we've got something pretty fun to check out. Some flea market finds that I've had over the last few weeks, probably about 2, maybe 3 weeks worth of things. Nothing super special enough each week that I thought I should make a video for it, but after a few weeks, I think I've acquired a few fun figures and, some stuff I already had, but sometimes if I find it and it's super cheap, I'll just buy it again because why not? So let's go ahead and start bringing it in. So the very first group of figures that I have are... First of all, this. So as we can see, this is a AAA Dimetrodon, and it is a pretty fun figure. Definitely not your best interpretation of a Dimetrodon, but it's not a half-bad figure for its age. I am actually a pretty big fan of the AAA figures. We also have this guy here. Now, I don't know exactly what company makes these ones. I've seen them for years, but I never know exactly who makes these figures. There's actually, that I could see, no real name brand on the underside. It is stating that, of course, it was made in 1994, and obviously it's a Pachycephalosaurus, and I do have quite a few of these figures. I actually used to assume it was UKRD or AAA, one of those two, because they're very similar as far as their style figures, but I'm not entirely sure who makes that one. Still pretty cool. We've also got this guy, which is actually not a Dimetrodon, even though it looks like it is. This is a Spinosaurus, and you'll see on the underside that it does state Spinosaurus, and again, it's another one of those figures, just like the Pachycephalosaurus, that I'm not absolutely positive who makes. So if you guys happen to know, definitely let me know, because I would actually like to learn more about the brand. I'm gonna have to look into it, I think, after the video is over, but they are really cool figures. They also had one of these guys, so a classic Screamer, and I couldn't say no to him because he's actually in pretty good shape, for his age. I don't know exactly when this one was made, but first of all, the paint is super based over here on one side as opposed to the other. But again, pretty cool figure. These guys were really cheap. I think they were like $1 each, something like that. So I had absolutely no problem grabbing a few dinos for $1. And there was also this guy, which I do have quite a few of these, but I'm always like, every time I see one, I'm always like, oh, I want to repaint that, because it's not a half-bad sculpt as far as a vintage-style Ceratosaurus goes. At one time, this is kind of how we viewed Ceratosaurus looking, so it would be a fun one to paint up and make more high quality. And since the paint's not that great on this guy, maybe that'll be my culprit right there, but still a pretty cool, quite large old-school Ceratosaurus who doesn't quite fit in screen right now, but there we go, now we can see him. At a different flea market, I also found this, so again, I'm gonna have to move the camera. It's some very interesting Brachiosaurus, and I actually have never seen this figure before. Kind of goofy, but definitely has an older look to it, but I actually had seen this one from pretty far away. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, what is that? I've never seen that figure. You could see 1998 is when it was made, but again, I don't know for sure who makes this one either. It's definitely not the greatest old school Brachiosaurus, but because it was a figure I had never seen before, I was like, yep, definitely going to buy that guy. I don't remember exactly how much this one was, but usually at flea markets, dinosaurs aren't often all that much money. Definitely has a little bit of a lean to them, but again, it was probably just a few bucks. Then we've got ourselves another vintage dinosaur. We have a vintage Dilophosaurus, which I actually really quite enjoy this figure. This is another of the figures that I've been kind of tempted to repaint for a while, because again, look, the detail is pretty decent, and I would say perfectly represents what Dilophosaurus at one point in time looked like, once, prior to Jurassic Park, when they changed the look of the dinosaur completely for a very long time. This is kind of the way I used to see it portrayed, so pretty cool figure. I think I have that one, but I'm not positive. Then there's a brand that I'm actually quite fond of, and it's this one, Jasmine. They make some pretty cool older dinosaur figures from the 90s as well. 1997 is what's usually always stamped on the underside, so I assume, yep, see, 1997, so I assume that's probably when the majority, if not all of their figures released. But this is their T-Rex, and again, pretty decent, not in the greatest shape, but for some reason I don't come across this figure all that often, so anytime I see that one, I usually pick it up because there are numerous different color variants of it. There was also this, which is an old school Jasmine Carnotaurus, and what's funny is I actually filmed and edited a review for the Jasmine Carnotaurus figures, because there are others as well, and I've never actually released it yet, so I'll have to get to it at some point. And in that review, this is one of the figures that I did include, but it's a different one that I actually purchased online. And funny enough, I paid like $20 some for it at the time. I found this one as well as that Jasmine T-Rex for $3 each at that flea market. So a little depressing that I ended up finding that figure so much cheaper, but oh well. And then we also have a Dorme Styracosaurus, and look at this goofy guy. I don't think I have this figure at all. I think there was a point in time where I had a similar Styracosaurus, but not this one exactly, and definitely not with this color scheme if I did happen to have it ever in my lifetime, which I don't think I did. But that's a pretty cool figure. I also got him for $3 with those others. Now here's one figure that is not a dinosaur that I did pay a little bit more for as I'm knocking stuff over. It's a NECA Gremlins figure. It is the ultimate gremlin, which we can see still brand new in the box. And since these are getting more and more expensive as time goes on, I think most NECAs now are like roughly in like the $35 range, maybe even a little more. Someone was selling this one for $25 at the flea market, so I was like, yeah, I definitely want to grab it. It's not in the greatest shape as far as the box goes, but I've been wanting to get more of those Gremlins figures, so no way I was saying no to that. And I also found these, as you can see, some old school 1998 Godzilla erasers, and they're still in the box, which is awesome. And you can see $4 each for both of these, so I was definitely not leaving without these because that is just super cool. Then a few more random $1 figures. We have the Hasbro Indominus Rex. Now obviously this isn't the larger one, this is the smaller battle damage one, but still pretty cool. And again, for $1 I was like, yep, definitely gonna take that, even though I already have them quite a few times. And again, another dollar figure was this crazy figure. Look at this absolutely insane focus camera. I don't know if it's meant to be a Parasaurolophus or what, but it's an old Imperial figure, and it is an absolute lunatic looking version of whatever the heck species, which again I assume is like a Parasaurolophus that it was meant to be. I've never had this figure before, so when I saw that I was really happy to grab it. There's also this one, and again this is a figure that I don't know if I have, but I'm not, I feel like maybe I do, but I'm not positive. Either way, it's cool enough that I grabbed it again. I don't know who makes this one. I don't even know what species for sure it's meant to represent. My camera's absolutely having a nightmare trying to focus because of everything in the background there, but it's still a pretty cool figure. And the final one that I was able to acquire is another figure that I've never seen before, and it's this. So obviously this is some kind of crazy Kenner Jurassic Park Velociraptor bootleg. It is very obvious to me that that's what it is, but I've never seen this one before. It doesn't actually have an articulated jaw. The head definitely has the look of the Kenner Raptor, but not exactly. It does still have articulated arms and articulated legs. It no longer has the sickle claw, which is weird, so I don't know if maybe these are like the Dilophosaurus legs from Kenner put on their raptor, but the tail is the dead giveaway that this is definitely the Kenner Velociraptor. At some point it was, but that's a pretty cool figure, and I'm always looking for old school Kenner knockoffs and bootlegs because I have seen them like online, and it's not something that I stumble upon very often, so anytime I do, I'm always just for some reason so excited about it because like there's a Red Rex bootleg and everything out there I would love to one day find. But this thing was just so cool, I absolutely had to have it, and it was another figure that was only $1, so like that's absolutely awesome if you ask me. So some pretty cool stuff here, obviously not anything incredible, but some pretty nice stuff as a whole. So let me know in the comments section what you guys think of all of this, and of course like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.